it's fun until it's not fun anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when it's like, when you're tired and exhausted, I think of like finals in college where you're just over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your why is what keeps you going.
Mm-hmm.
And my why changes
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like I'm about the community and my Black community, and so as the why of our Black community changes, mine will shift as well, because I want to make sure that we're meeting that need first. But it's really, for me, is just to serve community and make sure that I show up for the Black people.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We just got to be more. Yeah, we're just it's time to be unapologetic about
Very
it.
much so.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Rubino.
And this DJ in the building.
And you listening to the UpNUp Podcast.
Yeah.
Wait, what are we doing?
I don't know, just listen.
Yes. Welcome.
What it do?
Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into the UpNUp Podcast on the UpNUp Network. I'm your host, Rubino.
And I'm DJ man.
What's up, DJ Erm? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good, feeling blessed, thankful, grateful, always, right?
Yep.
Happy Black
Always.
History Month, right?
Sure.
Got to shout out Black History Month, obviously, and Black Future Month, word to Kanye, and shout out to everybody in the room, as well as the first-time listeners and the consistent listeners. Welcome to the show. As I stated, this is the UpNUp Podcast. This is the podcast where we're focused on cultivating culture, right? We do that by providing amazing stories of individuals, groups, right? Movements, hustlers, shakers, right? People who are carving lanes, man, and kicking down doors, breaking down walls and barriers for those coming from behind, right? And the community out there. So we're excited to bring these stories to them. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the family, right? And shout out to the consistent family members, always,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Right? Feeling good, man. Shout out to Kraken, Seattle Kraken too, man. They had us boxed in.
Man.
That's just on my mind. But yeah, man, with that being said, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It is Black History Month, right? And I think today's guest and today's episode is really going to encompass, what that means, right? What that means to highlight Black culture and those who are making history today as well, for the future. And today's guest, I would say, is a woman whose passion for community building and business growth is nothing short of inspiring. Definitely a true culture cultivator who's keeping everything she's doing on the up and up, obviously, right? A little bit of insight. She's the owner of fast-growing and thriving coffee shop and business Black Coffee Northwest, which is located in both the Shoreline and Ballard neighborhoods. A little bit of insight on the brand and the shop and just everything they're doing. Black Coffee Northwest has been extremely, I would say they've been extremely pivotal, not only in just providing customers with excellent coffee and service, but more so providing a safe space for community members, both youth and adults, to connect, exchange experiences, and really just ultimately grow together, right, as a community. You may not feel that with a lot of other coffee shops, and I think what they're doing is really innovative in the coffee industry. We're excited to see where they go, and we're excited to hear the journey. This is what it's about, right? The journey.
Yes, sir.
So let's get straight to him. And our guest is none other than the uplifting force herself, Darnesha Weary. Can we get a round of applause?
Hey.
Give it up. How are you doing?
I am well, thank you. That was quite the intro.
Yeah?
So.
You know what I say? Every good album needs a good intro, right? So we gotta
I'm here for it.
let's
Right.
make a good album with
Right.
this convo. How you doing? How's the day going?
The day's been going well. I mean, it's just been busy. Being an entrepreneur is a lot of meetings and a lot of brain work.
Yes.
And I just be tired, and these dark days don't help.
Man, the sun was poking out a couple times earlier this week.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. Now I feel that. So, and thank you for being here. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Now we always start the show off with a quote of the day. This is just to get the vibe right? Get the mood right. Brother man he's the man of the quotes. They don't let me tell quotes up here. Just it's a weird rule.
I got you.
There's
One
a
day, don't
backstory.
worry.
I don't know, man. It's a weird rule they've been made. It's But we'll let go ahead and
All right.
hit us
All
off with
right.
some quote.
So the quote of the day is, "The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members."
Mm.
It's a good one.
Who was that quote by?
Coretta Scott King.
Mm. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's fitting.
Yeah. So,
Love
Yeah.
it.
and just based off of your community outreach and everything, so
It's a
I feel like
great
it ties in.
No, it ties in for sure. I think, well, you know, obviously we bring in the quote to kind of get the conversation started. And obviously our episodes are really about, you know, amplifying the stories and the journeys of those who are really doing the work. And I was, you know, doing research on the work you guys have been doing. I actually came across an article in Seattle Refined, and in it they described Black Coffee Northwest as more than a cup of coffee, but a grassroots, youth-driven, creative space for community members. But I guess in your words, how would you describe kind of the mission and aim you guys are kind of trying to put out with what you guys are doing?
Our mission is basically we're community first. We're a community hub for all things and for everyone that wants to come through the door. The only thing that we don't accept in our places is the isms of the world and structures in place that, you know, that perpetuate whiteness. We don't accept those things, but everything else, come on through.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, we see people from all walks of life, which is great. Everybody feels welcome. It's like you're amongst your people.
Yeah.
And it's a very Black space that I love, that was needed in our area, where it's only like 3% white, or 3% Black people in the city. So it was definitely needed to just have our space. Like, you come in, you feel it. It feels good. It feels
it's inviting and welcoming. No, definitely. Well, it speaks for itself in a sense, right?
Yeah.
You got to go there and check it out.
Yeah. Definitely gonna pull up.
Yeah, come on through.
So, kind of want to take it back. Like, can you talk about like your upbringing, growing up, and everything like that?
Absolutely. So I grew up in Seattle, in Rainier Valley. I grew up in church. My parents were youth pastors, and so we went to church. Oh, that's all I knew. I was at church Monday through Monday, actually. All the time. We went to school at our church. Like, it was very, you know, we came from a very religious family. My parents ended up getting a divorce, and then I guess my mom was trying to leave as far away from my dad. He went to Renton, and we went to Wynwood. So that was a culture shock for me. It was in 6th grade. So, you know, imagine I show up in 6th grade. I had the overalls on with the one strap and my middle medallion. Like, I was out here, had my hair braided, you know, like the first day of school.
Fly,
and I got talked about. It was the first time I was ever the only Black person in a space. And so immediately my joy and love for learning just quietly got, you know, the light started to dim. And then I decided that I needed to start doing something because there were other kids that looked like me that were showing up. So my first thing that I did is I started the BSU at my school way back before they didn't even want to say the word Black.
Yeah.
Like, what is that for?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, and then I learned that there was arts, and I love stepping and dance, so I started a step team at my school because I figured if we're an ASB club, like, I love systems, and I love figuring out how to get what I need to get. And this is in high school, so I was like, oh, if we're a club, then we could be, you know, we have positions of power. And so we were on the step team. And then eventually we start playing the Martin Luther King Day assemblies, and assembly just, you know, slowly but surely just kind of start making my mark in that area. And the step team kept going after I graduated. Was great also.
That's
wow.
Yeah, but that was just my way as a high school student of trying to figure out how, like, provide something for the Black kids, because we were there.
No, definitely. It sounds like you had leadership qualities early, you know. Can you speak now kind of, I guess, where that came from, or what, like, where that was instilled in you from?
I would say just always having the desire to help, and then having the drive to just do it. And I've never been afraid of making mistakes or falling and getting back up to my, you know, detriment at times, especially in college. That's a whole nother story. You know, I did I wasn't afraid to just do it and try it, because I'm like, I'll try it. If it's wrong, I'll listen. I'll keep changing it until it's right. And so I think that's where the leadership was developed and cultivated, because just putting myself out there, I just had to figure it out.
No, for sure.
And we're first generation college students in my home, you know, so I didn't have a guide to help me do that. I just had to figure it out and ask questions.
Oh, that's real. It's important, man. It's important to understand those qualities, especially when you're young, like how much of a role they're going to play later on in life.
Yes.
You know, especially now being in the space you're in and doing the work you're doing. I'm sure it all connects. It comes full circle.
It
you
does.
Know?
Yeah.
No, definitely.
For real, I was going to say, I commend you for that, because it takes a lot of courage, like, especially when, like, it's just easy to kind of go in the shell and kind of go in your own world. But the fact that you were like, no, this got to change, it's like, that's dope.
Yeah.
So, you know.
That's Black history.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
For real.
It really is.
You know?
Now, as you were coming up, right, and you know, a lot of times we live in an era now where people only kind of see like your wins, your highlights, the final product, that whole thing, right? But there's a lot that goes into even developing a mindset to want to go into entrepreneurship and start your own business. And I know you have a background in racial equity work. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that experience and I guess how that helped you develop professionally?
Sure. So living in Seattle, where people think that it's very progressive and that racism does not live here, I've always told the story that actually racism is here. It's just hidden in our systems. It's in the HR, it's in the school system, it's everywhere. It's your neighbor, it's the pastor at the big church. Like, it's here. You just fail to not see it or take action on it. And so I've never felt like we're so progressive and everything's so great. I just have never bought on to that at all, because I never felt that way either.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to make sure that as I build myself up in this business, and the business is really truly a reflection of the work I've had to do on myself and who I am as a Black woman, because I came through the nonprofit sector, large nonprofits, you know, and I was at my jobs for like 10, 15 years. You know, I was one of those, like, I'm staying here forever. So I held on. I experienced the most traumatic things in the workplace as a Black woman. I started to quiet myself down. I started to change my hair because I was just so afraid to be myself. And so I had many moments of tears and crying and just trying to figure out who I am. And so I had to do that before I could lead anyone else. I needed to lead myself into my own healing.
That's real.
Because how dare I have all these young women, young Black women underneath me, and I'm broken. Like, I was like, we're not doing that. Because that's a cycle that I came from also. Like, that generational cycle. Like, we're just perpetuating. And so I just could not do it. And then all of my areas in my life that I needed to work on was showing up in my staff and was showing up in my own daughter. Because, you know, they grow up. Now she's 18. I'm just like, oh, Lord. Like, I know where you got that from. So I had to really do some deep work on myself in determining who I am, what are my goals, what I wanted to do, how do I show up, what does that look like as a Black woman, as a leader, as a mom, as a wife of a Black husband. We've been here for 23 years. Like, what does it look like? And so the last 2020, although like it shut everything down and, you know, we was at home, it was a great time for me to reflect.
I think for all of us, honestly.
We always talk about that too. That's crazy.
It's huge. It's big, and sometimes we don't get that time, you know. So it's good to recognize that. And I brought up your professional experience prior to Black Coffee Northwest, because I think it is important for people who are listening and watching who, you know, want to go into, and entrepreneurship is so broad, obviously, right? But like, they want to build out something for themselves or a venture. It's important to understand where you're currently at is going to lead you there in a sense. Sometimes it's just a stepping stone. And so working in the nonprofit sector, I guess, what are some things you were able to take from that said, okay, I think I'm ready to jump into this venture?
Yeah, I started a large nonprofit, stayed there for like 15 years, and went to a smaller one. I took every opportunity. I knew I was never going to retire from someone else. I knew that. And I also knew that I was going to hit a ceiling because I was Black in these large white organizations. Like, there was going to come a place where I was not going to be elevated. I knew that. I took every opportunity that they gave me, a class, a workshop, learn how to budget. I was like, I'll do it. Sign up for every committee. I took advantage of everything they gave me because I had an exit plan. And I didn't have money to go buy all these classes and things. And I was like, you gonna teach me how to budget? Sign me up. Child, I'll take the class.
Let's go.
So I took advantage of everything and made a lot of noise in the workplace. Also, I was always for Black people. Like, I did not care if I got an opportunity. We had a group chat. I was texting everybody else. We were sharing our applications for these, you know, committees or whatever. If there was a promotion coming up, we were doing mock interviews with each other. We're doing resumes together because I just wanted to make sure that as I quote unquote elevated or whatever, that I was bringing people right with me, because no one did that for me. And it's not fair for me to do it to someone else because they didn't do it for me. I'm gonna do it for the next person.
Especially in that setting, especially like in the professional setting and in corporate America, whatever you want to call it. It's important to build those bonds. It's important to lift as you climb, as they say, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would say all those relationships, like our major things that we've done at Black Coffee have been due to those relationships.
Yeah.
Now,
Relationships,
because
yeah.
those people are now in positions of power. Those people are the ones that now can say yes when we were on those committees together.
Yeah.
And so we're able to use those relationships and leverage them now, which has been really, really great. So I always tell the youth, like, don't leave things bad.
Yeah.
Right? Like, even if you have to speak your piece and say what it is and walk away, just walk away and be done with it. Because these kids love going to the internet and they love just canceling people out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
you know, I understand that, but you never know when
Yeah.
you're going to need that person or when that person's in a seat or a position that
That's true.
you actually need.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
For
real.
real. So, what pretty much like, I guess, sparked the idea for Black Coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband and I, our first date was at a coffee shop.
How fitting.
I know,
Yeah, I know,
right? Like, that was the first thing. I mean, my story is he saw me walking. This is probably not the right story, but he saw me walking and was like, ooh, who's that? You know, all that. And then we had a conversation, but the only thing that we really liked was coffee. And so that was our very first date. And ever since then, we've always traveled around and, like, looked at different coffee places and hung out. And I love, like, the small coffee shops where good conversations happen or where you just feel welcome.
Yes.
Because some of the bigger ones, especially out here, like, I don't always feel welcome. I feel like I got to buy something.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like,
Yeah.
let me go buy some gum real quick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I just want to go in there and mind my business.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit in the corner and not be talked to. Or I just might want to go sit there for hours on my laptop and not feel like I got to buy a coffee.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's real.
So we could never really find that place, and the opportunity, and we've been doing community organizing for about 20 years out in the Shoreline, North Seattle area, because that's where we live. That's where I was moved to, and then I had a baby and we just stayed. Because we couldn't afford to move. I mean, that's really what it is.
Yeah.
And now, you know, our kids we're newly empty nesters.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. So that. But yeah, we just wanted to, oh Lord, I lost my train of thought.
It was the spark the idea.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
idea. There we go. Ooh, I was
I took her down memory lane.
I really did.
know.
I was like, ooh, back at it. But we always trying to find a place, and we figured out that, like, at coffee places, we could have hard conversations, we could have fun times, and when the opportunity came up, we were like, let's just do it. Like, and it was in 2020. Again, we were sitting at home. I was, you know, the job situation wasn't working out. I was just over a lot of things, and the opportunity came, and we just went ahead and got the place. We had never done that before, and took the financial risk to just do it.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and I'm glad you asked that, because I did read in another article that I think it was your husband who mentioned it, who said you guys were more hesitant when you were younger to potentially do something like that, whereas now, you know, as time went on, as time passed, you guys felt like, okay, now is a better time. Can you speak to kind of maybe why you felt maybe it was a little bit harder when you were younger?
We just didn't have representation of that. Like, I had never seen a Black business owner out in Shoreline, Edmonds area. I've seen it, but I was never that close to it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the ins and outs, and there were so many unknowns. And I'm definitely a person that needs to know things.
Yeah.
Like,
That's real.
I need to plan A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
And so, like, I couldn't put that together, and so we just didn't make the move.
Yeah.
But we took time to just study. You know, thank God for the internet.
No, that's
'cause we
real.
were able to Google and YouTube everything that we ever needed to know.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, every Black person that we've worked with in the Seattle area has been amazing. Like, our relationship with other Black businesses has just been phenomenal and outstanding.
Yes.
And I need that to be representation also, that we
Yes.
can work together and that we can build together, and we don't need anybody else.
No, facts.
Yeah.
That's real. It's important. And I the reason I think that was dope is because I think there's no expiration date on dreams and goals and ventures and things like that, right? So it's, sometimes people are like, oh man, I should have done this when I was this. No, you could still do it though.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes, like you said, but it does take the discipline and the diligence to plan it out and just understand timing. Sometimes it's not the right time, but it doesn't mean it won't happen.
That's
you know?
right.
That's real.
That's right. Yeah.
So what were like, I guess like going through the process, trying to open up the shop and everything like that. What were like some obstacles and challenges you went through, and how'd you get through them?
Yeah, so I would say, you know, we opened up a black-owned shop in Shoreline. Like,
Yeah.
we knew we was going to have issues.
Yeah.
You know, like, and we knew.
He was ready for the
You
smoke.
We was
anticipate that,
ready.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
told we had our staff ready to go. I was like, let me know who comes. And it was in the middle of the election year. Like, it was just a mess. And
Yeah.
so we already knew that. That was never an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest challenge for us is that we had a lot of people in that area that were about the work of Black people, and they were around when it was time to just meet about it, but when it was time to take action, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
like we're actually trying to do something here.
Yeah.
They fell off, or it wasn't the way they wanted it to be. It wasn't the way they wanted it to look, because it wasn't their vision. And so I feel like that was the hardest obstacle I had to come over, is how to set boundaries with people and who I allow in my space and in my personal board of directors.
Yes.
Who I allow in my ear, who I allow to mentor and coach me, because there are a lot of people who have to talk big game.
Yeah.
But when it comes down, I'm not even asking for anything monetary. We're just like, can you show up?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
for Black people in Shoreline. You're Black.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
can you show up?
Yeah.
And they just didn't.
Yeah.
And just wouldn't. And so, that was definitely an eye opener for me. That one actually hurt me a little bit, because I was like, but we're Black.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's the easiest thing we could do.
yeah, and it's in Shoreline, the place where, like, if we could, and I'm like, well, here we are, like,
Yeah.
But that did hurt a little bit, but we just kept going.
Yeah, and I think honestly, and me personally, I just feel like over time I started to realize more and more. The more you try to do what you feel is morally right or good, you have to just expect there's gonna be resistance.
Yeah.
In the world we live in, anybody who's trying to do good or trying to do the right thing or try to push forward progress is gonna come with resistance, and it may be in the form of lack of support or whatever you want to call it. So in the moment it could feel that way, but it is, it just means it's a sign of like, okay, I'm trying to do something big here.
Yep.
Something great, I also did I did read that, and I think this is common, this could be common for a lot of Black entrepreneurs who are trying to go into business for themselves, that it was a little difficult at first to potentially work with banks, right? In terms of getting a business loan and things of that nature, which I think happens, all over. But what was that experience like? And I guess, and what advice and tips would you have for, the next generation of those who may be listening or watching?
First, the advice I would have is just to ask a lot of questions and understand where you're doing and what you need.
Yeah.
We did not know what we needed, and so we just showed up like, hi. Hi, bank. And they was like, no. Audio, like, bye.
Yeah.
And so we tried a couple of times, and then I actually, a president of a local credit union just inboxed us and was like, we want to have a conversation with you. We want to help you. Like, we want to walk you through. And there's an issue of trust also. Like, I don't trust these institutions.
Yeah.
So I was just like, huge side eye, because I always sound like we're not playing with no funny business.
Yeah.
And so,
That's real.
but they did, like, they coached us through on how to do the applications, what the interest rates look like. And we didn't start our business in debt at all. Like, we didn't take out any capital at all.
Yeah.
Now we're ready for our Ballard location, but we've had a year to research and feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Because we've never made that big of a financial risk at all.
Yeah.
As a family. And being broke, I just can't.
Yeah, but I think what's dope about it is you have to overcome that barrier of like, man, okay, I know I don't know, and I know I might stumble or whatever the case is, but there's a huge information gap when it comes to the Black community and the resources that are actually out there for us to take advantage of or utilize. And half the battle is showing up, like you said, and asking questions. So I'm glad you shared that. I think that's important.
Even when I felt humiliated, even when they would throw out words or acronyms that I didn't understand, I would raise my hand and be like, what does that mean? And how does that relate? And then what do I need to do with that?
Yeah.
Like, what actions do I need to do, or what do I need to avoid?
Yeah.
And so we do appreciate the financial institution that stepped forward and helped us build that trust. Like they came to the shop, they saw who we were, what we were doing, and built trust with us. And it's not like they don't see our bank account, because I mean it's out their bank. I'm sure. Y'all see it. But helping us budget and make sure that we're financially making good choices and that we're fiscally responsible, because we're trying to build something that's going to survive me, our kids, our kids. Like we're trying to build something, and so we want to be very careful and cautious with that.
No, that's important. That's good.
So I know you mentioned earlier, like you studied, or you guys studied coffee. So what were like some of the things you guys learned from that, like as far as like the coffee aspect?
Yeah, we went, the very first thought we had, it was like a midnight, and I was like, we're going to do this coffee shop. It's happening. I inboxed Ephraim at Boon Boona.
Hey, shout out Ephraim. Actually, he's an alumni of the UpNUp Podcast.
Oh, is he? I love Ephraim. And I was like, you don't know me, but we're trying to open a coffee shop. And he was like, for sure. So we went down there and spent months with him, and he taught us about coffee, how to be responsible with where we get our coffee from, how to make sure that we're not harming the country that's coming from, and that it's not causing harm in the farmers and the families. And he trained our whole staff. He helped us come up with the menu. We used his coffee beans for about the first year. He helped us getting into doing our own coffee beans. He came up, I mean, like, I could keep going
Salute to Ephraim.
Taught us the business of coffee with the mindset of we're all trying to grow and we're all trying to win together. And so people were like, that's a competitor. I was like, why? Like, that's not my competitor. Like, there can be more than one black coffee shop.
For sure.
Like, there's more than one other things all over the place. Like,
no, for sure. And ultimately, like, you can't serve everybody.
Right.
I don't care who you are.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I loved working with him, and that's how we learned. Like, he just put us through Coffee University.
Man, you're dropping gems. And I think sometimes when you're just saying stuff like you're saying, people don't consider it gems, but it really is. Sometimes you have to know who's doing the thing you want to do, and go talk to them and reach out to them and learn from them,
and just collaborate. Bro. Like that's big, even if you're in the same industry. It's like,
no, for sure,
important. Like that's the only way we're gonna really grow, like you said, so.
No, for sure. That's an amazing story. It's dope, man. Shout out to Ephraim, man.
Shout out
to Ephraim.
Funny story. He gave our staff is all young, so we have like a 12-year-old that was with us, that was tasting the special shots. So shout out to Ephraim, because them kids was all over that shop. I was so embarrassed. It was like our first little company trip, and I was just like, sorry. Like,
yo, so I'm also curious. The first opening up your business and open up the shop. What was that like? Like, what was that experience like? Because, it takes a lot of hard work to just even get to the point of saying, okay, day one is here, right? Can you go back and kind of like recap what that was like for you guys?
Sure. So when we had our first open date, the night before, they tried to burn it down.
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Arson.
Yeah.
So that was the thing.
Yeah.
But leading up to that, like, we just were busy, but we definitely did miss the opportunity to celebrate in that moment, because we were so busy. So if I could do it over again, I would make sure that we took time to celebrate.
Yeah.
Because we definitely didn't. We just went and did. After the arson investigation, after the attempted arson, we had to delay our opening. The media got involved, and it became like, oh Lord, the poor shop in Shoreline. I'm just like, that is not who we are. But what I will do is I will tell the story.
Yes.
Because somebody tried to burn the shop down.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's in a real attack. And man, I can't even imagine what that's like to be so excited to open up and then have that happen. But it does speak to your guys', just who you guys are, as people who are running the shop.
Yep, and it was scary for our staff. Like, if you could imagine, we have all these young black kids, and we're like, this is a safe place for you. We got you. And then before we open, they feel something tragic like that happens. But those people are in jail right now. Thank God they were caught. But I would say that threw us off. Also, with our supporters and with the people who were supporting us at the time that were down for the cause, when they started questioning that, they start asking, like, did we do it to ourselves for attention? It was the owners. And I was like, first of all.
Who? Yeah.
First of all.
Yeah.
don't insult my intelligence.
Yeah.
Because if I'm doing it on purpose, then it was gonna be done.
Yeah. And so,
I'm just gonna be real about it.
Yeah,
I feel you,
it's
though.
easy, but it's easy for people to comment on from the outside looking in. You know what I mean? And I think but getting past that and being able to do what you guys set out to do, can you speak to kind of like when you felt like, okay, we're here now, we finally arrived? Do you know when that moment kind of hit? Or?
That moment hit about the moment that we pulled up. So that happened. We've had like 4 break-ins happen, multiple people coming by saying things. The moment that we pulled up to the shop and the swastikas were spray painted on our wall, and I was with my daughter, right? So we're coming into work, the first thing they see. When our staff was just rallied behind our business and was like, I think that's when it set in, like, we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
We must be doing the right thing. We must be making an impact. We must be doing it because now they won't stop.
Yeah.
So in that moment, I felt a sense of just pride that the youth that we work with felt pride and they felt safe in that moment that we had their back. Because I was like, dude, the people that keep doing this are doing it at night.
Yeah.
Because I was like, y'all know where we're at.
Yeah.
I was like, come see us. Like, we're here.
Yeah.
But it was at night. It was at 2 a.m,
Yeah.
But our staff in that moment, in a time where they would have felt unsure and unsafe in what their bosses were going to do, we were like, we got y'all. Take the week off. We gave everybody a week off to just, like, take a moment, take a mental health day, break, and just... take some, we took everybody for dinner. We get people paid time off. We're a small business. We don't. We can't afford to get people paid time off. But in that moment, we get people time off. We call in a therapist. We just try to wrap our arms around the staff. And let them know that they can push forward as well. But when you don't need to, you need to take care of yourself. You don't have to all the time.
No, it's important. It's important, and I think I just want to commend you guys for being leaders, not only just in the community, because everybody's going to try to save their business no matter what happens, but to show leadership and making sure that everybody who's involved with, the business and taking care of people is what comes first. So that's great to hear. Yeah. For sure.
Thank you. It's very important. That's our staff, like, they care about the community first. That's like their complaint.
For sure. But I think also the great ones always get tested the most, I feel like.
For real.
That's what it seems like too. So
Yep, I've been working. I did take some just how to breathe, because my temper, I'm working on it. The way it's set up sometimes I be ready, but I've learned to just take a step back, because I'm modeling also for those behind me, but also I need people to know that Black people, like, we're no punks either. Like,
for sure.
Ain't nobody sitting back just letting you say and act, do what you want to do to our space and our business.
People need to be held accountable.
They do. They do. And we're taking up space in Shoreline and in Ballard and wherever else we go. Like, we're going to keep growing and growing and
for
growing.
For sure. Definitely.
So, for someone that's never been there, like, what are, like, some of the, like, I guess, events and, like, programs you guys hold over there?
Sure. So we have a coffee shop in front. In the back, we have a space called Grounded, and it's a Black youth activity center.
Okay.
It's beautiful. Like, the youth and our staff actually created that space, and so we have Wednesday study time where kids can come get one-on-one tutoring. We have Friday night vibes where we just do karaoke, which I win.
I haven't pulled up yet, so
we're
gonna have some competition. I didn't know y'all do karaoke. Okay.
It is, yeah.
I ain't been karaoke in a minute.
It's
That's dope, though.
And then we play Uno, which I win because I cheat. I will own up to that. Ain't no kid beat me in Uno. Like, no.
That's funny.
But we just have, we have Friday night hangout, and then we have events every Saturday where we do a Black vendor marketplace. So it's all Black businesses that are able to come in and sell their goods and build businesses, and our vendor fee is like $20. It's very affordable to get in and just come get a table. Even if you don't have a table or a sign, like, we're here to help you make sure you win. And so building up businesses is my favorite thing to do on Saturdays, and our marketplace has been going on for over a year, and it's great.
No, I think that's important too, and I think if you can speak to kind of the, most businesses, like brick and mortar businesses, if they're able to provide their space to the community for multi-usage, that's super big, and I think it's important too, right?
It's very important. I mean, Wednesdays we have a workout class in there, you know, we have and it's all accessible, it's all affordable, and it's for people who just want to come in. And we have a lot of white people that come into our space too, which is great. I mean, they come in and it's representation. Like, I need you to see what Black excellence looks like. And what you've only seen as Blackness, you know, like the oppression side or the, you know, I want to be whatever they see on TV side. Like, we are Black excellence through and through. So I need you to come in and see that.
No, for sure. Exposure's everything. Exposure's everything. I'm also curious too, from your perspective. You know, a lot of talk about people who want to go into entrepreneurship and stuff is you got to have a strong why. Like, what's your why? You know, I think obviously you guys have a strong why because you guys have already been tested in so many different ways. But can you kind of speak to why that's so important and how that showed up for you guys?
Yeah, because when you know, it's fun until it's not fun anymore. So when it's like, when you're tired and exhausted, you know, I think of like finals in college where you're just over it. Your why is what keeps you going. And my why changes because I feel like I'm about the community and my Black community, and so as the why of our Black community changes, mine will shift as well because I want to make sure that we're meeting that need first. But it's really, for me, is just to serve community and make sure that I show up for the Black people.
Yes. We just got to be more. We're just, you know, it's time to be unapologetic about it.
Very much so.
You know, and upfront.
It is what it is.
It is. What I say, it is what it was.
It is like. We got people that, you know, they're like, why do you only hire Black people? And I'm just like, because we are. And like, that's against the law. I'm like, well, I guess I'll see you in court. I don't know what to tell you. Like, we're gonna continue hiring Black people.
I'm pretty sure they don't want to. I'm pretty sure they don't want to talk about laws.
Exactly.
They don't want to talk about laws.
Right. So, and they're mad at. I mean, you can be mad about it. We've had people come in and say that we're racist because we say Black Lives Matter and because we call ourselves Black Coffee. And I'm just like, then you can go somewhere else. Like, you know,
definitely.
It's just coffee. And if it's making you that mad, then you got bigger issues that you need to work on.
No, that's real. That's real. I guess coming up with the name for the shop, you know, coming up with your name and your brand name is everything, obviously. What was that process like for you guys?
It's actually our goddaughter who's 12 who came up with the name, just playing around. And we love Black coffee in our house. We always talk about it. And so that's where it came from.
Just straight like that.
Just straight like that. Like,
we're not being around the bush. This is what it is. Black coffee.
My husband made the logo on Canva Pro. We paid a little.
Shout out Canva.
It was Canva, and then we upgraded. I was like, this logo gotta be right. So we ain't in the free version no more. Man, I'm just inspired by what you guys have been doing and will continue to do, obviously. But when speaking of hiring, right? Especially the youth, you guys do have internship programs, right, that you have implemented in, like, you guys are like a full service coffee shop. You guys got everything, like, you know, but can you speak about the internship program you guys provide at your coffee shop? Absolutely. When we first started this coffee shop, I was like on a mission to go find every Black barista and take them from their current job. Recruit them. That's a better word. Recruit them. So we were out there. I was searching high and low, and I couldn't find any. And I was just like, where are the Black baristas? And all the shops I talked to, they were like, we need to diversify our staff too, and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay. So I found one, and we recruited her. And then we were like, if you can teach people how to make coffee, then we're going to find people who are employable, 16, and we're going to bring them and teach them how to make coffee and give them a job. So that's where the internship came from. It was from, we needed baristas, and I couldn't find them, and so we just provided this opportunity. And so we've done our first cohort. We were to hire out of that cohort. Then now there are managers in the next cohort. So it's kind of like this pipeline that we're building of the next coffee shop owners or the next executive directors, the next COOs. And when they're in Black coffee, I tell them all the time, I love that you want to be a barista, but you will not be a barista for me for over 5 years. Like, even over a year, like, what are we doing?
You got that upward mobility.
I'm just like, we're not going to be doing this forever. Like, what's your plan?
No, I love it though. And especially like, man, I wish when I was 16, I had someone tell me, what's your plan? And try to, you know, push us upward. So the fact that you guys are doing that and giving the youth opportunities is super impactful.
For real.
It's big.
So like if I wanted to start a coffee shop and I came up to you and I was like, how do I get started? Like, what would you tell me?
I would tell you to research and study the business first. Like, I was saying, go call Ephraim. Listen to Ephraim.
Go deal with Ephraim.
Go and listen and learn and study. And I mean, I'm self-taught this business, and I use every vehicle out there. So we be on TikTok, hashtag Coffee Shop. You know, like we're searching and learning. And so I would just say spend time on learning and understanding the business. And then I would say just go for it. Like find a nice little spot and then go for it. And figure it out.
Yeah, some of the stuff. There's some things you just can't teach people.
I mean,
they gotta go through
it.
The experience is the best teacher, but
or go intern another coffee shop. Just put yourself there, because we have people from the community that want to open up shops, and they just come into our meetings. I'm like, just come sit in our meetings, like our leadership team meetings, and listen to how we run our business, because it's not a secret. Like, I need everyone that looks like me to learn and know.
No, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys are doing your part in that for sure. Now let's talk about this new Ballard location, because I think that's exciting. The fact that you guys are now opening up another location, right? Which is dope. And I think it's inspiring for those to see, like, okay, no matter what you go through, there's still a plan to grow and expand. But how did that come about, and what was that like to say, okay, let's open up a new one?
It was actually one of our customers that found the space, and they were going to use it for their space, and they were like, it would be great for Black Coffee to come here. And so we visited the space, and the least we could afford, and we just did it. And my husband was out of town, so I've learned to not just do things, because that's me, like, look how we did.
So guess what I did?
Pretty much. And I just like took pictures. I was like, here it is, and here's the lease, it's signed. There's that. And so then we were like, oh, it needs to be a coffee shop. And so we had to get a contractor, and we only wanted a Black contractor. So we had to search for that. And so we're excited to expand to Ballard. Right now, it's basically just an empty concrete room. We painted the walls because it just looked terrible. The floor is not cute at this moment. But, those things will come together. So right now, it's just a cultural and event space. And so we will host artists there. We will host classes there. We will host pop-up restaurants for up-and-coming Black chefs. We just had one there last week.
Let's go.
So we're just going to continue to provide this space until we build it out. I mean, it could sit empty.
But I think it's dope because you have the formula, Sometimes it just takes doing it one time, and then you can replicate it and duplicate it, and like the back of your hand. Right?
Just let it happen. I wouldn't say all that. No, almost.
That's funny. That's dope though. No, but I think it's a sign of progress, and it's important for people to see that, sometimes it just takes starting. That's it, And now look at you, got 2 locations, and you're gonna have 3
and 4 in Babson.
Yeah, come on, let's get it.
Plan.
Come on, let's get it. Now I do also want to, before we get our guests out of here, I'm always curious, but like, what are you most excited about, I guess, for the future? Like when you have an outlook, what do you see?
I am most excited I just envision like these big blocks of Black businesses that are like a co-op that working together, like a coffee, a milk, a restaurant, like we're all just there vibing and making money and setting up our generation after generation with wealth and something that they can hold on to. Like that's our biggest dream. And I know like we may not live to see it, but we want to make sure that we planted the seeds and make sure that it's there. But that's what I want to see, because right now our donuts come from a Black-owned business, our coffee comes from a Black-owned business, everything that we can. We had to fire our milk person. I was just like, no. And then because now we're in a position where we can actually make some political and power moves. Oh my God, sorry about that. That was my timer. I set timers for everything. Because if I don't, look, it's not gonna happen. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's what I envision. I envision like, if you're a visionary and you want to start a business, that we have a place for you to come and just start, and we just support you and help you and get you going, and then like send you off, like off to be amazing and great. But that's what I envision. That's what we're kind of doing, like just doing it because we want to mentor. We want everyone to win.
Yes.
But that's our vision. I just envision Black people everywhere winning.
Come on. I see it. I see it with you.
Yeah.
For real.
For real.
No, that's important, man. And I think you guys are planting the seeds. Like you said, sometimes the work we're doing now is, for the next generation. These stories that our platform's trying to tell us for the next generation. So as long as we all do our part, the future will be bright.
Yep.
I feel like. Yeah, so we always ask our guests this question before we get you guys out of here. So if you can.
Hold on.
Oh, what's up?
Where can they find you on social
media? Oh,
yeah. Where can they come pull up and everything,
Okay,
yeah,
I should have practiced this.
Where can they DM you?
My bad, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. That's
we're
important.
on Instagram at Black Coffee NW. We're on LinkedIn, and then we're at Twitter at Coffee Northwest. And our website is www.blackcoffeenw.com.
Okay.
Most of our events and things are posted on Instagram. Okay. We have a TikTok, but I lost the password. There's only one of me and my dog.
It's all good. It's all good.
Right.
Let's get that password back. Let's get that password.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to it.
Put that on the to-do list.
Too many passwords. But when I find it, we're gonna have a TikTok that's active too.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Now we'll make sure we plug those as well.
Okay.
So people tap in, and I'm sure they will, and they should. But I was saying. So if you can, we always ask our guests this question. If you can, what is one word to describe what keeps you on the up and up, and why?
Abundance is the word that keeps me up and up. And it's not monetary, right? It just means that I am full and complete in everything that I do, and everything I do is purposeful and impactful, and if it's not, I won't do it. So discipline, and which I need to discipline, it leads me to a space of abundance.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm just blessed every day.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite words, actually.
Yeah.
Abundance.
Every day.
I love it. That's powerful. This episode brought me a lot of abundance, and hopefully it brought a lot of the listeners and viewers abundance.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if that's the first time.
Have we had that word?
No, I think this is the first time.
I feel like we say that, but it's been a lot of words.
Yeah, I know. It's been, yeah. I was just thinking.
Let's just say it is. I think it is. We'll take it. But yeah, man, Darnesha, again, we're honored to have you on the show. Super inspired by your story, and we're proud of the work you guys have been doing and will continue to do, as always. And you guys support with us here at the Up and Up always. Yeah, man, I think it's safe to say I feel like the listeners and the viewers definitely are going to appreciate this episode, and can take a lot of notes and gems, and keep building for the future, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, man. Well, with that being said, I think it's safe to say Darnesha Weary and the whole Black Coffee Northwest team are officially members of the Up and Up. Can we get a round of applause?
Yeah.
Give it up. Thank you so much.
I'm coming back then.
Yeah.
To continue supporting the podcast and the entire Up and Up movement, be sure to rate, review, like, and subscribe.
As well as follow us at _the Up and Up on all social media platforms to stay connected with everything the Up and Up has coming your way.
Thanks for listening, and until the next one,
keep it on the Up and Up.